Right, so I have the dwarf Cavendish here, and it's not damp, but it's soft. This lower part of the stem is hard enough, so I think I might trim off the top part of that, and I'm going to check it, see how it is after all the freezing weather we've had. Right, so I've trimmed off the top here, and the roots here to touch are bone dry, which is good. It feels fairly solid, so I want to see what happens. Hopefully the weather will pick up. I've put this over the fleece, like an old, I don't know, like a packing blanket or something anyway, I had in the shed. It was dry anyway, just added an extra layer of protection. So I'm going to take a look at the two bananas now. Okay, here's the first one. That's damp and wet up here. Still a bit of green growth in there. I'm going to take away all this damp stuff here. I'll check the roots. Alright, so just on inspection here, I don't know how clear, those of you that know your bananas, I know you'll know that they're all little cells, and in those cells they contain water, and these cells here that were on the outer wall have frozen, and that's not good, because that will actually rot the plant when it thaws out, I think. And I think the bigger your banana, the more cells, the more water that it's going to retain. They don't fully dry out. This is my understanding or belief of it when I had them the first year, that if you look at the little squares there, those cells, they all contain water, and you don't truly get rid of all the moisture in your plant, even if it's upturned for a month, which I did with these. Right, so I've cut off, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches here, and yeah, you can see all the cells here. It's still growing here, it's all still healthy in the middle. That's where the green part was coming up. You can see how dark it is on the outside. It's starting to rot, die off. And slowly as the pseudo stem winds into the centre, it's growing, it's still green. You can see over here, it looks healthy only for the cells, and all the moisture is frozen. And you can see on the outer wall, it's all black. It's starting to rot. See how soft and squidgy that is there? And it's really cold to touch. Right, so what I'm going to do, the roots were dry on this Enseti, but the top and the outer wall was starting to rot. You can see all the cells were frozen. So instead of draping the fleece over the top, I'm actually just going to completely wrap it up to see if it retains heat. We're going to see what happens. Right, so here's the second one, and we can see on this outer leaf it's damp and it's kind of rotten, like growth. I don't know if it's fungal or if it could be fungal. Yeah, it's kind of turned into a powder when I brush it. This feels pretty much the same. I'm probably going to lose these bananas with this experiment, but I don't mind because they're available in the different plant centres and stuff, so garden centres. At least I'll know that the results of the experiment, which is the most important thing. So I'm going to trim off what I can and wrap it up like the other one here. Right, so I'm going to change things up a little bit to see if it makes a difference. I noticed that in the first part of the experiment when I had the bananas dug up and I had them upturned for over a month. I suppose the weather conditions would be more favourable then. There was no freezing, damp weather, and they were dry and they were upturned. So what I'm gonna do, I reckon if I just leave the plants pointing upwards, continue the way they were, they're just going to die anyway. So I've actually turned them back facing downwards, so the roots are facing upwards. So they're wrapped in the fleece instead of just the fleece across the top. And what I've done is put more bubble wrap across the top, and then I'm going to put this blanket across the top again. So they're completely surrounded by the fleece, large cell bubble wrap all around it, over the top and underneath. They've got the styrofoam as well that they're sitting in, so they shouldn't sweat. They're not in touch with the bubble wrap or plastic. I don't think sweating is going to be the problem with these. I think the big thing is just, regardless of how you insulate it, in these freezing temperatures, damp temperatures, that there's so much moisture that's still retained in the plant that it's just going to freeze. So far the bubble wrap, styrofoam, etc. have not prevented the plants from rotting. Okay, I'm going to cover them up now. Right, so I've upturned the dwarf Cavendish and the 2 Insetti bananas here. Out of the 3 of them, I'm hoping that the dwarf Cavendish will make it, because this is the first time I've actually seen one of these for sale, but hopefully I'll be able to get more if it doesn't make it. I would love to get the Mucilacio Carpa as well, so I'd have, if I could get these to the Mucilacio as well. I have another type there, the hardy type with the stripes, kind of like the Mucilacio. I can't think of the name of it. That'd be 4 different types. So if I got the Lacio Carpa, 5 bananas would be nice. So we'll see what happens with this. Right, so we're just going to have a quick check to see what else is happening. Yeah, this is all mushy. Coconut's done for. Hang on, up here. Well, these are the seeds I put down and forgot about. It's the Melianthus honeybush, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and they look really fresh here. So it just shows you some plants that have that kind of exotic or tropical look about them. Here's a much bigger one that I bought. They're actually doing really well. And the Melianthus, when I first brought it in with the rest of the plants for the start of the winter, actually started going back. It's because it was too dry in here, and I left it out in the rain and the cold, and it's after getting a fresh burst of growth. So the Melianthus are doing really well. The loquats, they're doing really well. Looks like new leaf as well was pushing out there. And I think there's about a half dozen or more. I didn't do any. I don't think I did a video on this. This is actually ginger, store-bought ginger I bought in Lidl, and they had some green protrusions coming out of them. So after I soaked them in water for 24 hours to dry out any kind of impurities or anything, I cut them up with the green nodes, if you wanted it, kind of pointing upwards. Still looks green. I think I might get growth out of this come the springtime. That's more of a curiosity than anything now. Could look nice in a pot. That's the avocado. This avocado is doing better out here in the stone cold, icy, damp conditions than it was in the house under the grow light last winter. It was just a store-bought avocado that I'd eaten, and I kept the, what do you call it, the seed or the stone. It looks healthy. I'm not going to do anything with it. I got obsessed by bringing it back into the house. But here's the one that I'm really interested in here. Tetrapanax. Took this off. It came out up from the roots off the tree up the patio. It's doing really well. I did have two. I lost one. It just didn't take off during the summer. It died back. But this is after throwing out several leaves. It had only one leaf, and now it's after throwing out several. So I suppose going into the new year, a contingency plan for the bananas, less hardy plants. I might actually build or get an insulated greenhouse. We'll see. I'm hoping to do a pond for koi carp up in the garden, and I'm also going to be taking out the railway sleepers. They're actually starting to rot. They've been down there for, I don't know, the guts of 20 years as well. I'm hoping to put blocks down for instead of the railway sleepers, and of course the paths around the field, and adding the plants to the pathways. That's on the cards as well. Right, so these railway sleepers here, these are the old style creosote types. They're actually dangerous for your health, apparently. Creosote being a carcinogenic. Yeah, so basically I want a larger potting area here, so I'm going to use blocks which are going to be all weather. I'm going to have a shorter seat, much larger potting area here. I'm hoping to put in plant it up with grasses and bananas and stuff in here as well. This area here will be larger. We can see what I can do here. This one will be coming out as well. It's only a small planter made up. I have the two roses here that I'm hoping to go across and over the door, and I don't think there's enough I'm after getting like good growth out of them. Definitely good growth from what they're only small little plants that I put in, but I'm going to put in a much larger area of soil, manure and stuff like that, and hopefully that'll help them cover over here. I'll probably have to put some support over the door. Up here, oh jeez, you broke my neck in the ice. Getting new gates put in, so there's going to be there's going to be a 6-foot gate here, and this wall is going to be built up to a 6-foot wall to match it. And I'm hoping to bring this planter out here to a much larger planter. I did have a lot of pots, so what I would like to do is take away most of the pots and just have planters, concrete blocks, get them made up. What's the ice?